It's all that everyone has been talking about. We ourselves on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live have just been reading a lot of what you have had to say. Sangha and Baz besides me today, both of them are captains extraordinaire. Sangha, if you're Ashwin today and you're in the eye of the storm, how do you step onto the field having handled what has now become a controversy?
Well, I think you have to put it in not, but just taking your claim should not be a reason for being maligned. Eden Gardens and a fair few other people around the world disagreed with his actions. So it's a pretty tantalising sort of thought for discussion and hopefully...
Now to a former royal who's standing by at Eden Gardens. Graham Smith, thank you for joining us on Maruti Suzuki Cricket Live. We've been waiting for you to join us. Graham, I've got to ask you, you're at ground zero right now. Read into Ashwin's body language at the moment. You know, what's going on? Is there like a rumor swirling or, you know, those voices swirling as to what happened?
Thank you.
I mean, once the curtain rises, you will see strike rate against Sunil Narine is close to 230, but that fourth or fifth stump tends to trouble him a little bit. How he looked to overcome that today?
Well, I think
the big man has got to be one of the greatest entertainers in this game. He has redefined this format, hasn't he, Baz?
Oh, he's an absolute superstar of this format. Look, he's so far above and beyond anyone else's statistic performance that he goes down as a Hall of Famer of T20 cricket when that time comes. And
we are excited about how will these two fare at Eden Gardens tonight. Let's find out what the conditions are like with Michael Clark in our Dream 11 pitch report. KKR, you know, it's DK as well, and then what Shubman showed. So they are the best finishers. Speaking of one of the best finishers, MSD, like you've never seen him before. He's quite happy right now because Chennai Super Kings are on top of the table. We're keeping track of all your heroes in the Vivo IPL, our Star Track. Okay, we'll be keeping their eye on this one because both these teams in action tonight have some big hitters in their ranks and they're both coming off wins. We'll be right back. Lots more on the show. Stay with us. The best finishing acts in this Vivo IPL, and they're here to put on a show. Mystery spinner, and they're looking to just shake things up right at the start. And what happens, Sangha, when you're a captain and you know a mystery spinner is about to make his debut? How do you approach that as a batsman?
Well, I've seen Varun Chakravarti, little snippets of him bowling. He's a fantastic bowler. I called him.
Crucial. Look, we know that there is a pattern that is set when it comes down to Eden Gardens, but our phone pay super player to watch out for will, of course.
But would actually help him to kind of spread his spinners around. No Mujibur Rahman today, so actually that puts a lot of pressure on both Ashwin and Varun Chakravarti.
In fact, you mentioned Ashwin, our MRF, a key battle of the match. Is that exactly when it comes to
and see what they decide to do in this match.
I just realized this is former KKR versus former Kings 11. It just hit me, guys. I didn't notice it before. But talking about Kolkata, yes, it is a home game for him. And we are talking about Chris Lynn, the kind of role that he will play on the field, off the field when it comes to celebrations. He plays a pretty big role as well. Having flashbacks when I interviewed Brendan McCullum for the first time and he taught me the haka. Do you remember that, Baz?
Oh, how bad was it too? I was
you mean how bad was I?
No, you were good. I was terrible. I should have been much better than that. If anyone back home had seen it, they would have destroyed me.
Hey, I like that. A nice little war cry coming to the party. Look, we've discussed all these men at the top. We've talked about the finishers. Someone who's going to hold that middle order or you know, upper middle order together is Robin Uthappa. I mean, every season he scores more.
Well, he's got the strength to do that as well.
Look, he is the man who just holds this team together. But let me tell you, he couldn't really hold on to much of his composure when he put him and Piyush Chawla on the spot. Take a look. This game, and that too being a former Knight Rider. Let's have a look at the teams. Kolkata Knight Riders in a situation where they've got to put a little bit of a score. Look at him. Look at Dre Russ. He's all ready for this encounter. Let's go across to you, Binga, our Asian Paints game plan. Thanks so much, Binga. What's with all these former Knight Riders giving plans against him? Oh, that's right. He played for Kings 11 as well. Time for our Go Ibibo predictions. Which big man is going to get the most sixes? Andre Russell or the Universe Boss?
I think Universe Boss, but I think KK are going to win.
Oh, well said. So, if we get sixes, how many are we getting today from either the Universe Boss or Dre Russ?
I think at least
That means we're going to have a show on the road today. You don't want to be anywhere else. Continue to join us throughout the mid and post. We'll tell you what's coming up for the rest of the week. For now, just enjoy the action. That was something else. But I tell you what was something else as well, Baz, because awesome hitting that we saw towards the end. Just before that, there was a situation where Andre Russell might have actually been. That's exactly the job that you expect. This is why we built it up for you and said that when you look at the best finishers in this Vivo IPL.
He's on stage in front of 80,000 people dominating. It's just great to watch.
It is, and have a look at how excited the fans would be at Eden, just the way that they built it up. Be in action against Mumbai Indians. And for a change, it will be the captain Virat Kohli turning the tables on us and becoming Quiz Master. Game, there's one man who's going to walk out with a smile on his face, and that's the universe boss, because he's going to be all right then, Dre Russ. I'll show you how it's done. He averages 60 at this venue, and he's got to give Kings the start that they need to chase this down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
that his West Indian counterpart Sunil Narayan is going to be deployed against him, understandably. He's dismissed him on 5 occasions then.
He has, and look, he's just a quality bowler, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they can actually fight back if they lose a wicket in the first 6 overs. So if they lose a gale early, what happens? Do they get that tempo?
For the day, which muscles are going to be, making the difference today? Hey, it was Dre Russ.
Absolutely. Again, don't give him a second chance.
Oh, you set it up beautifully, and we will certainly discuss that. Let's have a look at our Maruti Suzuki top moves. His method, you always wonder whether there's a method to that madness, but he said you've got to capitalize on situations, our Oppo moment of the day. I mean, 45 runs per moment. I mean, it happens sometimes, but what could lead to, some sort of slip-up like this? Is it because of all the things that have followed Kings 11?
He was sweating. He was out there for a while in corporate gloves, and they brought out one right-handed glove. And he had 3 gloves. Didn't have a left.
I tell you why he broke his favorite bat. Look at our thumbs-up charge performance of the day. I asked you, is there enough? I tell you what, did you see some of the cute stuff, though, from Chris Gayle? Because, look, you had to have a plan for Chris Gayle walking out there, and you just wonder whether it was executed, in a sense, to perfection. Because the universe boss will certainly have some plans next time around. All right, we will take a breather. Remember, there's a big game that is coming up tomorrow as well. We'll look ahead to that. But for the moment, if you are at Eden Gardens, I know you're and made sure that that rate was still accelerated. Now, that's his role for this season.
Absolutely. And if you take their batting, they're a scary outfit.
And Robin Uthappa in the middle. Absolutely. Oh, now you're scaring us now, Sangha. You're scaring us. Look, what about Kings 11? When you look at bowling options, they threw someone like Varun Chakravarti into the mix. It was his Vivo IPL debut. But one more plan that they might have to think for. Have a look at this. In our Swiggy fastest delivery of the day is
shape. Give the bowling some credit and work your way into an innings. Have a sighter, but the most important thing is play your orthodox cricket shows. Holding your shape, time your ball, make sure your wrist cock is at its proper height, and just hit through the line.
And speaking of those beautiful orthodox shots that are a revelation in T20 cricket,